Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Monday. As you are listening to the show today, we are pre-recording and strolling. We are multitasking today, Olivia Hilton. We are sitting in Strasburg. We're sitting in Strasburg this month, I think, instead of strolling Strasburg. We're going to stroll before it's all said and done, though, right?
No, we're not strolling again. We strolled a little to get here. We swung by Nancy's, grabbed our coffee. We strolled.
And we're going to stroll back to Nancy's to record the second segment of today's show. So we're going to stroll maybe with a quick jump into Clementine so I can steal one of those cool new orange shopping baskets.
And all the yard crawlers around town. We need to just get ourselves. We should have been crawling Strasburg today is really
right. So here's the thing, and I gotta give you props because you texted me and you warned me. One of Andrew's cardinal rules for radio is that you should never talk about anything on the radio that isn't relevant. So what I'm about to say isn't necessarily relevant as people are listening to this on Monday afternoon, but it was relevant to me on a Friday at 1:00 as we are rolling into Strasburg. Thank you for the heads up that people were setting up for the yard crawl and that it might take me more than my typical 7 minutes to get here. It's crazy out there.
It's crazy. And you're welcome. And it's because I learned the hard way getting here. So I took one for the team.
So there's the relevance. Those of you that are listening to this on Monday and also got stuck in some crazy traffic on Friday or Saturday, just know that I was right there with you. You're just not hearing about it until a couple of days later. But I am excited and I am also curious. So we are sitting in the office at Sager Real Estate. Mm-hmm. And I know that I've joked with you over the last several months about how Strasburg is kind of my new adopted hometown. I know you and I have talked about properties that Tim and I have scoped out online. Is this your secret way of trying to make me make the next step into buying a house in Strasburg because we're sitting here talking to the queen of real estate?
Everything is intentional. Actually, this worked out because Kelly reached out to us after the newsletter where we would promote, stroll in Strasburg, and if anyone wants to be highlighted, give us a shout. So it's actually exciting because we've covered a lot of retail, food and eateries and beverages, and well, of course, that was going to be our first stop was the food and bev. But it's nice to go into the professional side of our downtown. And of course, Kelly here is a staple at Sager Real Estate, and so I'm excited to hear a little bit about where you're going to move to.
I know, right?
Me too.
So Kelly, tell me about Sager Real Estate. How long have you been here in Strasburg?
We have been here since 1969.
Wow.
So, long time.
But not in this exact space. You were telling Olivia and I before we started recording that you were actually in the old Northern Virginia Daily building.
Yes, that's where we were. So if you were facing the Northern Virginia Daily, it would be the little building to the right that is attached to the two-story. So that's where we were, and that was my father's business at the time. So he is the one that founded Sager Real Estate. So I remember going in there. It was just all men at that time because that's just what it was then. It was probably in the early 70s, and sitting on my father's lap and going through his desk drawer in there. So real estate's always been in my blood. But my father, he moved to the space where we are now, the Virginia Restaurant. Everyone knows the Virginia Restaurant. except for you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
young-
that
the
whole
young
being
one of the
30
group.
thing.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Hey, Box Office did their ketchup recipe for Vintage in the Valley
Right.
actually in the past, and so I may not have ever gone, but I have had their ketchup.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think we've all had the ketchup, and it's really good. So, yeah. So that's where we came to from the Northern Virginia Daily, that building. But we have been here. We've come back into the buildings in the back for more space because we've grown over the years.
How many agents do you have here now?
We have 20 agents here, mostly full-time agents. We have a couple of part-time, but we focus on really hiring full-time agents because really it's a full-time job. And I have a business partner, Dora Buck, and we came together about 2003, 2004, and she had a few agents with her, and I had a few here, so we brought them together and created a bigger business that we've all been just very successful.
I love that it's girl power. You joined forces in an industry that when you were growing up was traditionally all men.
Yes.
Now we have 2 women at the helm of this agency here on the corner in Strasburg that is kind of ruling the world. What is so great about living in Strasburg? Why should I want to come here and live? I already know, but I want to see if your answers
Well,
line
let
up
me
with my
tell you.
answers.
Living here in the valley, growing up here, we have the river that all of us so enjoy, and it's really become very popular with kayaking and canoeing and tubing. And now we have this wonderful boat landing down here at the town park. So that was so wonderful when the town put that in many years ago.
Actually looking for a second one now to add in a pedestrian landing to kind of separate boats and folks.
Nice.
Dear
Yes, that needs to happen.
Yep.
Right. So we can all stay safe. So people now can actually put in at Deer Rapids, which is south of town, and have a nice float down to the town park and get out at the boat landing. So that has been a really nice thing for us here, is just having the river, and of course the mountains, and Fort Valley is just right around the corner with all the hiking and biking trails that people love.
Well, I mentioned we had been scoping out online for different houses. The other thing that I've noticed too is that the housing market, I can afford a house here. I don't know how to say that politely, but I could afford to buy a house here, which isn't necessarily the case, say, for example, in Winchester.
Right. Our prices are a little less than Frederick County and Winchester, but too, our prices are rising just like every place else.
That's her way of saying, get off your butt, Janet, and find a house and make an offer.
Now.
Well, and I said, we've looked at things online. I would never buy something completely online. I understand the importance of having a person, of having a professional and an expert to be able to lean on to help me through that. Why is it so important, do you think, for people to have an actual agent that they can talk to, and what does that require?
I've always said over the years, if you were looking to buy a home, let's say on the Outer Banks, you're going to go to the Outer Banks and find a real estate agent because they know the area. So what I say to people that want to look at real estate here in Strasburg or Woodstock, wherever you want to be, that you contact an agent in that town, really, because that agent knows everything that's going on. They know the area, they know price points well with houses, maybe what you should be paying for a home, what you shouldn't be, and just being able to give you lots of information of things to do within the town. That agent can really be resourceful for you. So that's important, to find an agent who is local, but it's good to have an agent, period, because you need representation. It's difficult to go about this alone without an agent. There are so many things involved anymore, lots of paperwork, lots of things that you just need to know that a real estate agent can help you with.
My son lives in Scranton. He's considering buying a house now that he's been there for a year. And the first thing I told him was find an agent that's there locally. And he said, well, Mom, I've got these parameters that I've set up in Zillow, and it sends me an email and tells me, and I can go look at the house. Won't I just use the agent that's there? And I explained to him, well, that's the agent that has it listed. But if you have your own agent, then they can still take you to see that house and get all of the background and more information, because his agent's working for him, not necessarily just trying to sell the house for their client, right?
Yes. You've been studying.
I have. Hey, I am not. This house is going to be a big purchase. I got to make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's.
Yes, you're exactly right. So you want to find an agent who can work for you. The flip side of that would be dual representation, where you have, maybe it's a house that you've seen, like you said, on Zillow, and you call that listing agent. Well, that listing agent cannot represent both parties. So it's good to find an agent who can fully represent you. That's really important. They will help you quite a bit.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that when they're using these apps, that doesn't mean they can't use it to maybe find something, but they can still have their own agent to actually go and see and represent them when they make their purchase or when they want to do a home tour.
So speaking of home tours, I'm putting you on the spot here, but what is the most unique or interesting thing you've ever found in a home as a selling point?
Oh man, I was going to ask her like craziest thing that
goodness.
made her run screaming from the house.
I
But
thought
okay,
about that. I thought it
be a
through.
little nicer, Olivia. Go
Red
ahead.
flags. No. Does anyone have a really cool staircase or a
Because there are a lot of historical homes
dumbwaiter?
here.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love dumbwaiters.
Dumbwaiters would be so cool. I
So
want a
cool.
dumbwaiter in my house. I'm putting that on my list now.
One of the houses that we had listed had a beautiful staircase, and it actually happened to be one of my favorite listings. The interior was just so modern, and it was a stainless steel staircase, wood treads, but it was in glass, and it was absolutely beautiful. So that's been really one of the latest things that I've come across that
Was that in town?
outside of town.
Live outside? Okay. Rural mixed with
Yes,
modern.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, and we've been talking a lot about Strasburg, but I want to make sure people understand you're not just selling houses in Strasburg. What geographic area do you cover with your 20 some odd agents?
Well, that's interesting because we have expanded a little bit as far as we have agents that will go to Fredericksburg, Stanton. We've had a couple of closings there this year. So it's really in the state of Virginia. But do we sell in all of the towns, counties of Virginia? No, we don't. So, but if they're fairly close, we will certainly go show property, list a house.
Even if I were living in Middletown and wanted to buy a house in Winchester or Newmarket or somewhere not necessarily in Strasburg, I could still talk to one of your agents and they could still represent me, find houses, and do all of the things that an agent would do.
Absolutely. So Frederick, Warren, Shenandoah, Page, Clark counties, Winchester City, we service all those areas. So and know them well.
I would think too, with how long you all have been in business, that maybe you have some return clients or folks that you might have helped them get their starter home, and now they're
Generational
getting-
even.
Yes.
Yeah, their kids or now their
Yes.
retirement home.
Yes, that's the fun part. Help their grandparents and then parents, them, when they become of age of wanting to buy a home. That really is fun. I have to remember, though, when the younger ones come to me and say, oh, my grandpa bought this house, it's like I need to remember not to treat them like children when they're coming to buy a house because they're adults.
Yeah, that's probably the toughest thing. So, Kelly, how do people get in touch with you? How do they get more information about Sager Real Estate, about your listings, about your agents? Where is the best first place for them to start?
We have a website, so they can get on our website. It's sagerrealestate.com. It's better than Zillow or Realtor.com, so they will be able to get on our site and find the same information. And actually, we have a lot of information about wineries and breweries and things of that sort. So it's really a destination, our website. Please visit our website or just call us. Look us up, call us, walk in. We're here on the corner. We always have a lot of walk-ins. We have for years. And that's been the great thing about being on Main Street. So
What is your number here?
pardon me?
Your address.
111 East King Street.
Well, it doesn't get easier to remember than that.
Yes,
That is kind of simple. At the
we're
light.
catty corner to the banks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can just go right to the ATM and come on over to the
Yeah, I want to know what ATM is going to give you that kind of money. Just shoot you stand there for an hour while it shoots out your 20s. I don't think that's how it works, Olivia.
I need to
See,
do more-
and Facebook, Instagram, do you have social media networks people can follow you on?
We do. So we're on Instagram, Facebook.
Awesome.
We're
All the
everywhere.
things.
We're all the things, social media.
And you're at
So,
almost all of the community events as well. You guys are really great about setting up shop out here. So
yes.
I've seen you giving out some freebies on a Saturday, so you can catch you almost any day.
That's us.
Yep.
Well, Kelly, thank you for taking some time to chat with Olivia and I today. It's been fun.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
I'm
Kelly.
so glad to be sitting here with you girls. Thank you.
So we're going to stroll back down to Nancy's where we're going to chat with you about vintage in the valley. I know.
so
it is
excited.
like your happy topic. It
so
is.
happy.
You were so excited. I'm excited because I was here for the last one.
Years ago. Now
Yeah,
it feels like
doesn't
I
it
keep
feel
on-
like it was 100 years ago? So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation for Strolling Strasburg. We are strolling, obviously, with Olivia Hilton. She is the interim, soon to be permanent. I hope. I'm getting tired of saying that. I understand you have a new town manager now. Give him my number. Give me his number. I will make sure by the time you're back in September, I can introduce you as the permanent director of community development. We're going to come back and talk more about vintage in the valley in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/Quick Money Chat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/Quick Money Chat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Monday. As you are listening to the show today, we of course have pre-recorded on a Friday afternoon. We are strolling Strasburg with Olivia Hilton. She is the interim, soon to be permanent, I hope, Director of Community Development for the town of Strasburg. So Olivia, this is probably the longest break we've taken between actual recording breaks, because it's been like an hour since we left, or since we finished recording at Sager Real Estate. People on the air right now only had to listen to 2 or 3 minutes worth of commercials, but it's like an hour and a half later that we're sitting down to record the second segment.
It is. It's funny because we always tell if we meet a guest, oh, it's only going to take about 10 minutes. So we get about that much of recording time, but then the whole actual strolling is a good 3-4 hour chunk of time where we're just enjoying ourselves.
It just takes so much more time. So we've strolled ourselves back to Nancy's Coffee Bar, and we are going to talk with you now about vintage in the valley, because this is your baby.
You do not have to tell me twice to talk about as Kara is walking up and delivering a Nancy's lemonade. Thank you, Kara.
That is some cool looking lemonade.
That is a curbside service. I can't wait to try it. So yeah, we are back here at Nancy's chatting about vintage of the valley, and yeah, you do not have to tell me twice to talk all about it.
So when is it?
It's going to be August 28th. We do have a kickoff event on August 27th. So it's coming up right around the corner. The Decades Dance is on the 27th. So it's just a dance that evening. But on that actual Saturday, 10 to 4 are the vendors, the demonstrations, the winery, the fashion show, all the things are happening in that big chunk of time. So really 10 to 4 on the 28th, but then we do end the evening with a showing of Wizard of Oz in the square. So that'll be that once it gets dark enough to show a movie. So that's the caboose of the event.
And all of this happens at the town square in the pavilion area.
So it's actually, this event goes from Holiday Street to the Strasburg Emporium. So we'll have our vintage car show closed both sides of Holiday Street. It's benefiting the Shenandoah Alliance for Shelter, but we have given out over 1,000 car show flyers to every car show since April. So we are expecting a big turnout. So north and south will both be closed. You'll have here vendors in the town hall lot and the Emporium. And we have over 70 vendors that are all just vintage, antique, handmade, and handcrafted. And that's not counting the over 90 we have in the Emporium. So we have over 160 vendors that day signed on, which is very exciting. But we do have, the square is kind of the hub in the middle. So we have the fashion show is there, the wine garden, the DJ. Jimmy Lee is going to be there doing the Decades. And word on the street is Star in the Valley's wine garden is going to be a vintage circus theme potentially.
What?
And there may be someone in the air. So they
circus as in Cirque du Soleil.
I think there may be some trapezing. So the wine garden is going to be definitely a sight to see there in the middle of the event. But it spans most of downtown, and we have carriage rides this year that load in front of Town Hall, and they'll actually do a loop of the entire event, so you can see all the things, all the stuff.
And I think I was thinking that was only here at the town square, because last year, well, not last year because it's been 20 years since you've done it, because we've been in this pandemic for the last 20 years. But I forgot about the Emporium piece, and I only partook of what was happening right here and then left and thought, oh man, I missed out on all the Emporium stuff. So this year I'm going to start there.
Yes.
And work my way down.
That is smart too. And they actually have a majority of the parking. So it will be an entrance only, exit only for traffic. So half of their parking lot will be for parking and the other half will be full of vendors. So I would recommend starting at the Emporium. They actually have live demonstrations throughout the Emporium. So they have probably half a dozen, a candle maker, a chair caner, a blacksmith, a potter, all these different demos.
And that's my favorite part. This is literally my favorite part about Vintage in the Valley, is that these are actual makers. You know, I do this Meet the Maker series on the radio show, and it's because I love meeting the people who have the ability and the creativity to make cool stuff. And you'll get to meet them all. I'm totally going to walk around and say, hey, what do you want to do this for September radio show? Hey, how about, what are you doing for October? You want to be on my October radio show? I'm going to use this as my complete and total recruiting tool
please do.
The Vintage.
Please do. This is such an untapped side of our local economy, our small businesses. Not everyone has a brick and mortar, but a lot of them do hop around to these shows, and they all have such unique talents and gifts that they want to share with folks. I've always said, I'm not really that creative. I realize my creativity is facilitating these events and bringing people together. My creativity is organizing, and so I can live vicariously through them as they come and sell their goods.
Let's talk about the fashion show for a second, because that was huge at the last event. People loved that fashion show. It was so well done.
It was so well done. I have to give Kath just a million praises, who she manages Lydia's Clothes Closet, and they sponsor the fashion show. And she already has all of her models lined up. They have their outfits. They're good to go. She's recruited Roman Beauty Academy to do their hair and makeup.
It's still 2 weeks away.
It's still, she does not mess around. I love Kath. She's like, August 1st, done. So she has over 30 models ranging from age 3 to 84, which really doesn't get any cuter than that. And then they have their MC that they had in 2019. If anyone remembers, he was fantastic because he actually gave like a little historical knowledge of each decade and fun facts, and he's very punny. So we have him back on board. But yeah, she has everyone signed up and ready to go. So I love the fashion show. It's right in the square at 1 p.m. We'll actually have some chairs set out this year for folks that want to come and sit early, grab a glass of wine, all in one spot, and check out the fashion show.
So the Vintage in the Valley event itself on Saturday, 10 to 4, is free admission. I don't have to pay anything to get in a gate anywhere either, right?
You don't have to pay a darn thing. I'm sitting here looking at our ad in the Mountain Courier, but it's posted everywhere. The digital map will be posted ahead of time. So if you follow Discover Strasburg on Facebook, you can find the map and actually figure out where do we want to start. And if you want to start at the Emporium, if you want to start at the car show, what do you want to hit that day? We have 2 tours of the Emporium at 11 and 2. So if you want to hit those, when do we go? So absolutely, it's posted ahead of time so you can make you can strategize your shopping plan. And it's open. Everything is free. The only thing that costs is the carriage ride is a $5 loop per person, just to kind of help cover a little bit of the cost of the company. And then if you're bringing a car to the car show, it is a $10 fee that again goes to the Shando Alliance for Shelter.
Which makes sense. Now the Decades dance on Friday night, the 27th, is there a fee to attend that, or is it free too?
That is also free.
What?
So I know, I love it. So that is at Box Office Brewery. You come at 7 to 10 on Friday, August 27th. They have DJ Connection, which is a fantastic DJ. He's going to do all the different decades. We actually have Annie from Jig and Jive Studio in Front Royal coming, and she's going to do a little lesson on the hand jive and the disco and just different kinds of decade dances. And we have a bubblegum blowing competition, hula hoop, just kind of thing to get the night started. And then we end it with a costume contest.
I think it is awesome.
All the things. I'm very excited. We are covering mostly the 20s, 50s, 60s, and 80s in our decade decor.
Well, yeah, because you can't not have the 80s. Let me just tell you. Not that you probably even have any clue about the 80s, Miss. I just turned 30. But the 80s were the bomb. The 70s and the 80s were the best decades ever. I will tell you from my own personal experience, even though I'm dating myself incredibly as I say that. So who picked Wizard of Oz? Why Wizard of Oz as the caboose movie to wrap up this whole thing?
So the community picked it, actually, which is the fun part. That is all sponsored through the Shenandoah Film Collaborative, and Dan actually put out a poll to see what people wanted to see. He did that in 2019. Grease won, but he ended up showing that actually during COVID. It had a great turnout, outdoor movie. So he reposted new movies. The Wizard of Oz won. I will admit, I have never seen The Wizard of Oz.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something.
Have you also never seen it?
I've never seen it from beginning to end. I've seen 2 or 3 snippets of it here or there. I've seen the Flying Monkeys. I have never watched it sat down and watched it from the beginning to the end. I think we should make a date.
I need to get over it. Mom, if you're listening, the reason my brother and neither of us have seen it is because she was traumatized as a child by this movie.
By the Flying Monkeys.
By the
No
Flying
wonder.
Monkeys and
Hey, don't blame Mom. That's a justifiable reason.
I think they showed it to her and she was like 6. Really bad timing. So, but my brother and I have often joked about getting together with Mom. We're going to watch it.
Therapeutic. I think it's
Try
a
it
great
again.
idea.
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get her out there then on that night.
I think Mom would come if I was there.
It feels right. It feels like a triple date.
Because she's one of my biggest fans. I am now one of her biggest fans.
Yes.
So I think we could convince Mom.
Yep, I love it. And of course, Mom and Dad. And she's always like, "Stop talking about your mother on the show."
Radio.
She doesn't sound like that. I'm not sure what that was, but my dad is in charge of parking cars at the car show. He's there crack of dawn like me. Mom will be doing the info booth. If you want to come and say hi to Olivia's mom, also known as Rebecca.
You can say, "Oh, you're the mom they always talk about on the radio."
Yep. So they're my 2 best volunteers. But we have a really nice committee. And then Doreen, who she owns One Stop Studio shop in town. She coordinates a ton of student volunteers from Shenandoah and the NHS, and we couldn't do them without them. So it's a really solid group of volunteers headed up by my parents.
So aside from the ad in the Mountain Courier, where can people go to get more information? Website, social media? Give me all the details.
Yes, definitely. So our website, strasburgva.com, you can find vintage kind of plastered all over it. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Discover Strasburg. Vintage has a page, Vintage in the Valley, and then Vintage in the Valley 2021 has an event. Clementine Vintage, I have to mention Sue. This was her original brainchild.
Was it really?
It was. So because of Luckett's, she's a Luckett's.
Oh, yeah. So she posted that Luckett's, she had gotten her VIP ticket, so I immediately clicked on the link that she shared on Facebook and have now bought my VIP Luckett's ticket. So she and I are going to go to Luckett's together. She just doesn't know it yet. So be prepared, Sue.
I love it. Yeah, Sue came and just said, I think especially with the Emporium here, it's such an anchor. This would be an awesome thing for tourism, for local engagement. And we just ran with it. And
Here we go.
And so this year she's helping with the volunteer shirts. This is airing Monday.
Yes.
I might get in trouble. We're going to be secretly stenciling Vintage in the Valley logos on the sidewalk downtown the day before the event to kind of show how far it spans. And we've asked for no permission yet, but they're washable and just a little rain will get rid of them. But
I think it's perfect.
Right? Yeah. Winchester gets it with the blooms.
Yeah, and they paint those. They stick
they
around
commit
for a very long time.
Absolutely, they commit.
Okay,
So
you have my permission.
Okay,
Tell
okay.
the town manager that the lady on the radio said it was perfectly fine.
Done.
The
This is
new
perfect.
town manager, who I also want to hire you as a permanent director of community development.
I don't get tired of hearing that, really.
I know, right?
So Sue's in charge of stencils, and then this is our trick this year. We're doing hand fans in case it's hot.
Perfect.
But they'll have the save the date for our April 22 festival, since we'll go back to April.
You'll go back to the spring,
Yep.
like it's supposed to be in the future. Awesome.
Yep. So that's our kind of trick. And I should mention weather permitting. The horses are weather permitting.
Right.
But it's rain or shine event.
Everything else, bring an
So
umbrella.
Bring an umbrella.
Or
Yep.
buy one when you get here.
Yeah, bring some sunglasses or an umbrella. I'm not
Yep.
sure which way we're going to go.
So somebody needs to do hand-painted umbrellas and set up a stand at Vintage in the Valley. They might make a killing that
They
day.
might make a killing. Absolutely. I need a little parasail or
A
parasol.
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 See,
Yes.
you're too young to even know what a parasol
I used to have one that had my name on it. I can remember this thing.
Well, we are going to wrap up our conversation. Strolling Strasburg with Olivia Hilton today. She is the interim, soon to be permanent, I hope, Director of Community Development for the town of Strasburg. In the first segment, we talked with Kelly Sager from Sager Real Estate, and now we just got all the details for Vintage in the Valley. Discover Strasburg.
Discover Strasburg just on all the social media platforms, and I have to secretly plug in this lemonade is delicious.
See, yeah, I know. I'm going to turn your straw upside down and take a drink out of it when we're done. I'll be back tomorrow, Tourism Tuesday, Luray Page County edition. We are talking with Fort Valley Ranch. It was a fun conversation, so tune in tomorrow, just a few minutes after noon. I will meet you back here then.